Running a GPU business while electricity prices are skyrocketing sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? Well, it is unless you have a strategy to keep your electricity prices under control. In this video, I'm going to show you how I have saved over $500 on my electricity over the last 2 months and some of the strategies that I'm also going to be incorporating in order to reduce my electric rates even further. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's set the stage first. Right now, I have between 25 and 30 GPUs down in the basement. Not all of them are rented, but a lot of them are rented, and they're generating heat. To keep them running, I am using a lot of electricity around the clock. What I am doing currently is using hourly pricing from ComEd to save money on my electric bill. And over the last 2 months, I have saved $500. That's with running all my equipment around the clock. It runs constantly during the times when electricity is at its highest and when it's also at its lowest. When you average it out, you are significantly below the standard rate. Let's get into that first, and then I'll go into some of the other strategies. This is the analysis I have done comparing standard rate with hourly rate. Most people save money on this program. If you try the program and it doesn't work for you, you can change right back to standard rate. There really isn't any risk in trying this out. For me, it is like money in the bank every month. And since the beginning of June, it has been much better to be on the hourly rate for me than the standard rate. I'm not familiar with any other part of the country that currently has it, but call your congressman, start getting it so that this option is available at your utility. It really benefits both the utility as well as the consumer. There's a lot less risk because through this program, when prices go up, it's supply and demand. When prices go up, people are going to use less electricity. So they will curtail their use when the price goes up. That's why the utilities love this. May wasn't really that hot. Certainly, I think was fairly cool for May, if I recall. And again, it's spring. Spring and fall tend to be when lower prices are for electricity on the hourly program. So the standard rate, and I'm talking just on the supply side, not the distribution side. The difference is all on the supply side. The standard rate in June for ComEd, the effective standard rate, was 8.852 cents. For hourly, it was 4.94 cents. When I add it all up at the end, it matches my bill, so I know that it's correct. I will make this available. You can copy this and put in your own numbers so you can evaluate for yourself how much money you might be saving by going with this type of program. So like I said, difference between 8.852 and 3.912 was almost 5 cents a kilowatt hour for that month. It was 4.94 cents a kilowatt hour difference. Huge. I saved $300 in that month versus the standard rate. Last month was a little bit less. So again, this was a bill I got in July for the month of June. Actually, mine was like almost a month and a half, but it was for the month of June and the first little over a week of July. So a period of time that we had the heat dome, that we had really, really high temperatures. And I still saved $200 on the program. The effective supply rate was 8.669 during that period, and my effective rate for hourly was 5.172. So about 3.5 cents of savings. With how much power I'm currently using, that was well over $200 in savings. I'm really curious to see how it comes out next month because the effective standard rate is actually going to be even higher at 9.218 cents. Let me go over the effective supply rate. It shouldn't be changing, right? There's a lot of different pieces that go into that standard rate. There is the residential rate that people hear about. In this particular case, it is 10.028. Let's just call it 10 cents. That's the supply rate. But there's also a purchase adjustment, purchased electricity adjustment that changes month to month. There really isn't much of a limit on what they can do with that plus or minus, but there is a formula that they follow. For ComEd, they are required to not make money on electricity. They're allowed to make money on transmission. So that's why this is fairly strict, but it's still a standard rate. In Illinois through 2027, I believe, we have this carbon-free energy offset, which is figured on, there was a bill that passed, but it's in order to make sure that nuclear power plants can run profitably. When the price of electricity goes down, this adjuster increases the cost of electricity in those cases. On the other hand, when price of electricity goes up, the nuclear power plants can't profit from that because they have the benefit on the other side, so basically no risk to them. But when the price goes up, this adjuster goes negative to bring the cost of electricity down. Right now, with the cost of electricity going up, you can see that the carbon-free energy adjustment is actually negative. It's a benefit to the standard rate. When we look at the end price of standard rate versus hourly rate, like for the last month, it was about 6.4 cents versus 12.9 cents. Mine was 12.9 cents and the standard rate was 16.4. Previous month was 16.571 and the hourly rate was 11.631. If you look at the table, my cost of electricity has gone up a little bit. It definitely has gone up, though that may change, but not as much as the standard rate. So I'm able to save a lot of money using this particular program. So there's two other things that I wanted to mention. If you notice on here, I have a note right under where it says ComEd gas heat rate, because this is the electric rate for gas heat. So underneath it says electric heat rate. So if you have electric heat, the transmission or distribution rate is less by 3.138 cents. If you get a heat pump installed instead of having gas heat, in other words, if you remove your furnace, you should be eligible for this program. I'm not sure if you have to remove all gas appliances. That I'm not positive of. But it does say gas heat rate. So that tells me it may only be the furnace. Either way, that would be a significant amount of savings. With the amount of power that I'm currently using, that would be about $150 a month. During the cold months, I would be spending $50 more in electricity than I would be for equivalent gas. So during that period, I'd be lessening it. So you take 150 times 12 and subtract out somewhere around $250. You're looking at around $1,500 or so in savings a year. But the cost to put in a heat pump is going to be about $10,000 minimum. I'd be looking at a 3-ton heat pump. So it's a significant investment that would take some time to pay off. So not quite prepared to do that yet, but it is an interesting idea that I could save quite a bit, especially if I decide to expand. Lastly, the thing I'm looking at is, we're not even looking at, I've already signed up for it. It's already on my bill. I've signed up for community solar. And this one, I had a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around for a while. Being at hourly pricing, it's a little bit different. The concept is that I have a subscription to a solar farm, okay? And a certain amount of those panels I'm subscribed to. But the question is, what am I paying for? Am I paying a standard fixed rate for those solar panels 12 months out of the year, no matter what they actually put out? Or am I paying for only the electricity that they generate? It's the second part. I am only paying for the electricity that they generate. And I am paying that solar company directly for that electricity. Then they send that information, and the credit for the amount of energy produced gets credited to my bill. Now, the key is it's getting credited at the standard rate. If I'm saving money with the hourly program, I'm actually getting credited at the standard rate. That's where I was kind of stuck. What am I paying them? Yes, the credit is based upon the standard rate, but I'm only paying 80% of the standard rate for the amount of energy that's produced. Well, isn't that still paying more for the electricity than you would be if you were on the hourly program? No, you're not looking at it the right way. I'm basically paying for electricity 80 cents on the dollar. I am paying for a dollar 80 cents. 80 cents is what it's costing me to buy a dollar of credit to my electric bill. I will save an additional 20% for whatever amount gets credited to my bill. So right now I've got about 21 kilowatts. It's not going to cover my entire bill or the entire rest of my bill because I already have solar on the house, which covers about 15% of the electricity. I haven't seen this yet. It just got put on my bill. It usually takes about 3 months to start seeing any type of credits. And from what I've been hearing, it's a little bit more delayed right now. But the way I look at this is just a bonus, and it doesn't cost me anything. If I am going to pay them 80 cents and then I'm going to see that credit hit my ComEd bill, why wouldn't I do it? It's like going to Costco and buying a $100 gift card for $80. Why wouldn't you do that if you were going to go there anyway? Of course, that's a good idea. You're saving money. Now, you could decide not to go to the restaurant and save your money by making food at home, but everybody needs electricity. So it's the perfect thing to do. Now, the company I went with is 20%. There's different community solar companies out there that have different discounts. Some are at 10, some are at 15%, some are at 20. It also depends on where you are in the country as to how much of a discount you will actually get by subscribing to a community solar program. But I highly suggest you look into it. You really should just be able to say, hey, I'm signing up, and wait for the savings to roll in. Honestly, you got to make sure that you sign up for a program where there's a guaranteed savings. But as long as it's set up like this, where you are just paying a lesser amount for the energy that is generated, it's kind of a no-lose situation. So I will keep you guys updated on this program, but I'm really excited to see what kind of results I get. Right now, I'm at a 12.89. I'm hoping I can get that down below 11 cents with this program, but I'm probably going to have to increase my subscription to do that. So we'll see, but I'll keep you guys up to date on the results of that program. So in the description, I will have a link on signing up for the ComEd hourly pricing program. If you are interested, hit me up in the comments below if you have any questions about the program. I would love to hear in the comments if you were on the hourly pricing program and you got off the hourly pricing program because it just wasn't working for you. I have yet to find a single person who said, I'm spending more money on the hourly pricing program. I'm not saying those people don't exist. If you're at home, maybe daycare or something, and most of the power you use is from 3 p.m. to 8 o'clock at night, and you don't use much power the rest of the day, this probably isn't for you. But if you're not that type of person, I can't imagine it wouldn't work. I've never heard of anybody say that this program did not work for them. In the future, when I am able to show results of the community solar, I'll also have an affiliate link for that, but I want to see this prove out. Right now, it sounds like it's going to work great, but I don't want to put my name behind it yet. I want to start seeing some credits. I want to see what they said it is and that it's actually going to be that, and go from there. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Hate to ask, but YouTube makes me. And if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. You know where it is. I'm actually putting out content, so that way you can be sure that you're not going to miss the next video or future videos. Also, if you are interested in getting into GPU rental, I will have a link to my one-on-one sessions. Feel free to sign up for one of those one-on-one sessions and we can talk about how I can help. Alrighty, guys, thank you very much. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this video. Have a good day, everybody.